Yeah, we are live. Hello, hello. Can you hear me okay, Chris? Because I'm trying to keep my voice a
Yes,
bit down because
yes.
my boyfriend is sleeping in the next room.
Ah, yeah, I
Yes.
can hear you pretty well.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Man. Sorry, people, I have to inform and check. We were just
Yes, and
talking
I have to
about that.
respond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chris is very happy today. Chris, aren't you?
Yes.
Tell us
Yeah, I'm
why.
very happy. Yeah, because my boyfriend is has returned from 3 months being away in India. So he arrived this morning, and I'm very, very, very happy. Yeah.
Yeah, I can completely understand that. I would be too.
Yeah, it is not. I have, my way of fulfilling my purpose is by bonding, and for people who has that, for me, it's a language. For people who has that language of bonding, it is terrible. I and I also have the challenge, the gift of challenge, and I know then I need people around me to challenge me, and so to be alone all the time is not for me. No, 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 no.
That's an interesting observation because I have the same channel, I believe, and I have the same thing. For me, sometimes because some people say like, yeah, yellow energy fields, they don't need anyone. They are lone wolves and whatever. And I actually partly related to that information, but also a big part of me was like, no, I really like having someone around. I don't like being in groups the whole time. That's not me. That's
No, me neither. Ugh.
but being alone, I wouldn't want to be like single the rest of my life. I believe that I would manage. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
like, oh, I can, but it's more that it does
Hey, it
wouldn't.
was not the agreement, huh? He already did it, and now it's twice. Come on.
So Chris is going to reset her webcam. So I will keep continuing what I was talking about. That for me, it was an interesting observation of Chris that she says with the gift of challenge that yeah, it's good to have people around you that challenge you in a positive way, when you're not living your authority and your strategy and whatever. It can be also the other way around. I know from experience that the challenge can be really challenging. But yeah, I recognize that a lot, that I need people in my life to be challenged. And actually, yeah, talking about it right now, it's also it helps me, with my investigating part of my profile, the trial and error, because when you get challenged, you're usually challenged, or I am at least challenged to see things from a different perspective, or do it from a different perspective, or do it totally different to see what turns up next. So yeah, because challenge can have like a negative connotation to it. Sometimes people use challenge and it's always something negative. For me, it isn't. Challenging is just like, hey, I have a thought and someone challenges that thought to see it in a different way. So that's also a challenge. I don't know, I wanted to share that.
Yeah, but for me, it's a very that I knew that I know this now. It is for me. It's very important because people always say, "Yeah, but you should be able to live alone," and people are, and of course I always say that you live together, not like this, but in this. And yes, I can be alone, and I'm very happy alone. I don't need anyone to complete me. This
Exactly.
is completely different, but I need someone to yeah, like we said, it's a challenge, but also I have the red energy type, and I really need to talk. And it's very nice to talk with a partner, with my partner, or with someone around me. And if I'm too long alone, I notice that that somehow it's yeah it I cannot get rid of my energy, or somehow I don't know if I'm saying this correct, but um, yeah, I really feel that. So I really need people around me to yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm
That makes sense. But would you like, as an alternative, during such a period, would you, or did you reach out more than usual to other people just to talk and be able to
yeah
get,
yeah
the energy
yeah
flow moving?
yeah.
Okay.
And there were some very good friends who really look after me. So they invite me more to their house, or I invited them in my house. So, and we did some games or whatever, we were talking. And yeah, that was really nice. And I really needed that. Yeah.
Yeah, what immediately comes up for me right now is the people that are alone. And I had that kind of people around me that were living in a sort of isolation, sort of, and probably not well, I cannot discern if it's chosen or not, because I know them, but it's always hard to figure out what people are really thinking inside. um, but now that we're talking about this, I'm like, wow, wait, if you have a red energy field or an orange energy field and you are in sort of isolation, if it's, you are deciding to put yourself in isolation or because of other circumstances, that probably that frustration, because I think that will be very frustrating at some point, because you cannot get rid of the energy to talk things out, to figure out, what and how that fits into your life. And it actually now makes sense, because my father, I don't know actually what my father's energy field is. I'm if I would guess, I think it's red or orange. And when he would be alone a lot of times, and wouldn't see a lot of people. But if I was on the phone with him, he would talk for hours on end. And if it was up to him, he would do that every day, and he would repeat a lot of things also every day. And it irritated the hell out of me, because I was like, seriously, are we gonna go through this again, again and again and again?
Yeah, but the yellow energy field is efficient. So
Yeah,
why should
exactly.
you? It's
Yeah.
completely different.
But
Yeah.
now that all of a sudden clicks, like, wait, he was alone like 99% of the time, only with his dog. And when he finally got me on the phone, he was like, "Ugh, I need to get everything out." And he started repeating himself. And I was like, okay, you're repeating yourself because you like to hear yourself. He does actually has a red energy field, and I don't mean it in a negative way, like to hear
No,
yourself, but
no, no. Yeah, it's
uh,
neutral.
wow, wait, yeah, that makes all of a sudden a lot of sense. I judged him for it a lot. I judged him for that, because I actually disconnected with him because of it. Because for me, every day, 2 3 hours listening to the same thing, him never asking me how I was doing, or at some point I was like, it drained me completely.
Yeah.
And yeah, and okay, knowing this now, I would do it different. I don't know exactly how, but I would do it different, because when you recognize something, you can try things out. But
Yeah,
I
you
don't.
could inform him more.
Yeah, but
Inform
I'm not in
him.
contact anymore with him.
No,
So
I know, but if you would, you could inform him, like, oh, Dad, I want to tell you something or whatever.
no, but
You,
I did that. I did that. I remember
you did
doing
it.
that, but he He was not open to it. It was his train of thought, and that,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I believe also that has to do with the isolation. Um, yeah, I
Yeah, but I
didn't.
can imagine that's not very nice. Because it has to go both ways.
It has
Otherwise,
to.
it will drain you. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the reason why I had to. Because
yeah,
I was very ill at that point in my life, so I didn't have any energy. So
yeah,
I had to protect myself and say, okay, sorry, but I tried to, I have tried like communicating with him, like, okay, it's okay that you call me, like, but then keep it short and sweet, and once a week we can do it longer, but it's not. And he was initiating a lot. And I always felt like, whoa. So that's how I know that he's definitely not a yellow, because
no,
then the
otherwise
energy
it
would
won't be
feel
okay.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then you will be far more efficient.
yeah. But I never looked at it like that. Interesting. Stupid. No, not stupid, but it's interesting that as long as I've been experimenting now, almost 7 years, that I never ever made that connection. It's,
Yeah, but this is one of my gifts, darling. I look everything on a different way.
that's, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I started to like it more and more. Yeah, this is one of my things I had to acknowledge myself for. Yeah, I always wanted to be like everyone else, and I didn't like the way I was so different from anyone.
Yeah.
So, but now I start to love it. I start to love it.
So now I'm curious though, because Hans is a 1-3 profile and red energy, yes.
Yes.
So did you figure out where it's coming from, that he like needs time alone on its own, and be like somewhere else completely? Could you?
Um, yeah, he is like a free spirit. I'm also a free spirit, and I think it's also about he's very adventurous, and I think that he has some challenge. He has some gifts. Let me see if I can have it because it's a nice question, but. Uh, um But the main part of it, he needs to find out, to figure out how it is to be more connected. He does not have he has a different, he does not have the language of the connecting part. Of the bonding, he has the one, let me see. Uh, Here, you will probably fulfill your purpose by putting your mind to things and subjects. So this is where everything starts with an idea. And for me, there's if you we were talking about it today as well because I was quite uh, heartbroken for him to that he wants to be away from me for such a long time every year, and at the beginning I was even angry with him because of that. But now I understand he's not from the bonding. I need to bond and with a and not yeah. And there's another one is with the bonding. It's about not having a shallow connection. It's not a shallow bonding, and he for especially at the beginning when I first met him, he could be quite shallow, surfaced, and that for me was not done. So you were the guy, yeah, and he has the talent of experiencing and the talent of journey,
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
yeah.
Yeah,
So he has. and the talent of passing on wisdom. So yeah, I don't know. Because of that, he really needs, he needs his time alone, and he needs to be in adventure. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
he
nice.
does not have the adventure one, I think. Let me see.
Well, the journey is, I believe, also pretty connected to this one because and it's not a literal per se journey like traveling, but the journey through life, through your everything that happens within inside of you.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I tend to withdraw also very much. I don't have that talent, but as a 1-3, I also withdraw from everybody to, discover things, investigate things, and mostly inside myself, figure
yeah,
things out, improve things. And in that moment, it's sometimes then it's hard to be with someone because for me at least, that's the 3 showing up. When I'm figuring all those things out, when I'm not alone, I will take that person into consideration within the figuring out. Well, that is actually not what I need because I need to figure it out for me and not for the other person. And it makes it more easy when I'm on my own because then I
yeah,
don't have to consider anybody. I can just focus on me and
yeah,
don't feel like, oh, now they need my time or they need this from me or they need that from me.
yeah,
And it's more clean somehow. It's more clean, like a clean cut. Like, okay,
yeah,
this is the boundary. This is where I'm at, and they are in their own lives and things, and I don't have to think about them because yeah, and this is just yeah, I just get
yeah. And you shouldn't, and we shouldn't forget the 1-3 is completely is the only profile that is completely focused on themselves,
yeah,
and it's not interpersonal, but it is just
personal.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's just personal only for
Yeah,
yourself. Yeah,
yeah. So and that one I really feel as not being a 1-3 profile owner. I can feel that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you could. I sometimes find myself feeling that why is he always? Why are they always? Because I have, like I said before, I have a lot of 1-3 surroundings in the inner circle, and so why are they always so focused on themselves? And yes, now I know, and that is yeah, that if you and that because of the bonding, I for me it's very hard not taking things personally. So
yeah,
it is, yeah, it's kind
yeah.
of like it could give some
Friction.
yeah, friction, some where then or whatever. Anyway, but yeah, but yeah, for me, I'm also very very free spirit, and even when I would like to be around people and I want bonding, but I need my time alone. Yes, I don't.
I don't think this is connected with being a free spirit. This is just, the 3, and you have the 3, so you will probably recognize that for a big part is, are we doing things for the greater good, or are we choosing things for ourselves that's good for us? And when we are for, at least for me, when I'm around someone or people, I tend to automatically go for the greater good,
Yeah,
and that makes it really hard because now it all of a sudden clicks too that why it was so hard for me to get out of my previous relationship because there were a couple of points that I actually didn't want to continue in the relationship. Um, but at the moment he would be in my energy or around me again, I would actually discard it and find the solution that was good for us both. Well, I was actually not true to myself. And
Mm.
the moment that I got away and I was in Mexico, um, that all changed, because then all of a sudden that energy is not around anymore, and I got really the chance to focus on how does it make me feel if I choose this and if I do that,
Yeah,
and how does it make me feel, without thinking, oh, but how would he feel, or how would he be, or how would this result for him. um, yeah, that's a big thing, and I'm actually now understanding why I needed to go. I don't know why I needed to go also so far away for that, because but I really felt I needed to get like a big distance somehow, um, to get that done. It's interesting. I don't I wouldn't, I have no answer why that would be why that would be necessary. Maybe something with the energy that it still, if you are stay in the Netherlands or something, that the energies are somehow still too close, or to, I don't know, maybe.
you have to get out of Europe. That is also possible because I know Europe has yeah, it is a very particular kind of energy, and it's not
That's
always.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
think it's
dampens a
very
lot.
harsh.
True.
I think it's a very harsh energy for me. Uh, uh, for me, it is. I remember. Um, when I was young, I traveled a lot by myself. So I traveled by myself to the United States, and I was a long time in New York, which I really love. Oh, it's still in my heart. Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. Anyway, that's a different story. But I was so surprised that people reacted, the way the people reacted on me was so completely different than in Europe. And it was like they were open. And and of course it's not everywhere the same in Europe, but so I also feel different things in different parts of Europe. For yeah, I really really love Spain, and but I don't think that Spain would be that open as, for example, the United States. And of course, I know at the United States, I also notice that they are very open, but they also can be if you're not around them anymore, they can easily forget you. You know? So it's completely different from the connection in Europe or in the Netherlands. But maybe that could be also an issue for you because I know you now for a while, and you are very, for me, you are very strong-headed, and I mean it on a positive way. And you are very, um, yeah. How could I say that? Um, you have a lot of power, and not everyone in Europe likes that. Yeah, I find people in Europe, and I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean everyone. It is just some kind of generalization and in common, but and it is not the truth. It's my feeling, and it is my truth. So if you feel that differently, you
Let
are
us
free.
know.
Yeah, let us know. No, but yeah, 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 yeah. And of course, it is also because of how they respond, on me and on you. Because you maybe, if I am wrong, you have to tell me. I am very, uh, yeah, alienated. I'm very like I'm not common. I'm very different, and I have very revolutionary thoughts. and I see you as well with those thoughts. And people people have to be open for that, and maybe they are not there. I somehow feel lots of times I feel some resistance from that.
Yeah.
And in countries like the United States, I don't want to live there for, I don't, but I have noticed that in countries like the United States, they are so open to new things and to experimental things that they give you at least the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
It is not like in here in Holland, like, no, talk to the hand. And yeah, I think for me, that could be a reason for you to go.
Yeah, and also we have the saying in Holland: don't stick your head out of the
Yeah,
grain field, or
yes,
the how do you oat the what? I don't know what it is in English, but because it will be cut off. So that's
yeah,
in
and be
essence for
normal
people who
because,
don't get it, in essence it means if you are um, different, because that's actually the essence of it. If you're different, don't show, because people, yeah, they don't want to be, yeah, somehow
yeah,
uh,
dangerous to be.
confronted with something that's different than they have, like, in their mind or their way of their living. Yeah, and I have the gift of stubbornness, so I am very strong-headed.
Congratulations.
And then also a
Yeah,
defined will, so willpower is very strong. So yeah, that's yeah, definitely a thing. And also, yeah, when we talked about that, like when I got back from Holland back to Mexico, that the energy is totally different. It's in Holland it feels more subdued somehow, that you're not able to really connect with
mm,
yourself.
yeah,
And so getting out of the highly uh, controlled environment in all kinds of ways, yeah, that does help, really, or did for me at least help me a lot to better connect with myself.
yeah, and it's crowded for me as a red energy field. It is very, yeah, I think I think it's very hard to live around so many people, and I feel so many energy fields, and it wears me out sometimes. Yeah, I really long for a place on my own, not only by myself, but just space and quietness, because yeah,
Yeah,
it's too much.
yeah, I can recognize that. Yeah, I can recognize that. But I think that it also has to do with, we are very sensitive to those energies. So yeah, the more you become aware, the more you want to get rid of all the other things.
Oh yeah, the really dense and compact, dense and very yeah, condensed and energies, the lower energies. Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah, but okay, it's okay. It's also, I also had a feeling like it's also for a reason. I would not be the person I am now if I lived in somewhere where I could be completely myself.
no, that's
Uh,
the process we have to learn.
yeah, I this country is so good for me to learn, but I'm tired of learning. So let's go. I feel like you. Let's go. Yeah, I will eventually. Yes, I will. Or not I, but we will. Yeah, I'm not learning Spanish for nothing.
No,
Already.
exactly. Oh, I just started my like oh shit, what's the word? Intensive training. Yeah,
Oh
just started
wow.
Friday, so
Oh nice.
now beginning, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm looking very much forward to making myself like that people understand what I'm saying, and also
Yeah.
understand what they are saying, of course, because that's the whole thing in conversations. But
Yeah.
yeah, looking forward. Yeah, it will take. They say like take a year for really like immerse yourself into it. Talk a lot, read a lot, listening a lot. So yeah, I'm not there yet, but it's fun that I'm starting at least.
Yeah, and you have the will to do
Yeah,
it. You are open. So
true.
in 1 year or 2 years, we're doing this talk in Spanish.
That will be nice. Then we have our Spanish podcast and our English, and then we can Dutch. We are like all over the
Oh,
place.
beautiful chicas.
Easy, easy. So
Chicas from
anything? Did anything happen this year, this week, in the last 2 weeks that is you're like, that was a nice experiment, or like something that caught your eye?
Oh, I experienced a lot recently, but it's not. It has not really to do with experimenting things, but more. It's more experimenting and getting experience in what is happening in the world right now, and people are getting sick and people are going to die around me. So I have a very good friend of mine who's going to die, and yeah, that 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 is it's life changing for me. It puts a lot of things into perspective,
Yeah,
and uh, but yeah, it's part of life. Yeah, but it's not nice. And no, but what I more experienced, like I said before, today we were talking with me and my boyfriend. We were talking about the different feelings of being away for such a long time, and I'm very glad because for me, my truth is that it is fair if you want to be a person who really lives from the heart. Every decision, everything has to come from within you, and the time that people tell you what to do or how to react or whatever, for me, it's gone. If this is from the mind and not from the heart, and I had some challenge, but I yeah, I also have the gift of stubbornness, and I have the gift of challenge. So for me, it's okay. But it was really a challenge to be be a person of bonding of on a deep genetic level, and having a boyfriend so far away every year for a long time. This time he was away for 3 months, which is for me it's too long. Um, but what was very nice was that for the first time in his life, and he actually was able to talk about it. Normally, he wouldn't. He's not very. He has his throat defined, but he's not easy. He's not someone who talks easily. But now he spoke to me. He talked to me and he said, "No, it's now I feel it's too long for me as well." So now I have something like, "Yeah, now we are getting somewhere." You are distracted. A beautiful man. Oh, I cannot hear you anymore. You're muted or something.
Yeah, I muted because the first one was this big car, and like so like I put it off, and then someone in the house started dancing. I was like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
you started to dance. So that's nice.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
was distracted a little bit.
that's not a
Sorry, but
problem.
I was hearing you. I was hearing you
Yeah, yeah,
about
yeah.
Hans saying that for him at this time it felt also too long.
Yeah. So this is for me. It's a very good thing because now it comes from his own heart. It's coming from inside, and I really was all the time. I felt, yeah, I didn't. It didn't feel good to to um, to have, yeah, that I have to tell my boundaries all the time and to tell him no, not longer than 6 weeks, no, no. It feels like, yeah, this is for me, it is not the way it should be. And and the way I look on this is, and this is for me completely the new world, is like the love someone has, the love for the other person puts you in movement, and of course I just told you he has the gift of experiencing, and he has to experience all kinds of feelings. So it took him some time, because he also has the emotional inner truth I told you about, because when we are together I'm also the emotional one. And what do you want to eat? I don't know. What do you want to eat? I don't know. So, what do you want to? What should we eat? I don't know. Well, I don't know either. It's kind of funny, two emotionals together. But anyway, but it's very, for me, it is wonderful. It's really wonderful to see that the love is in his motion, and makes him aware that there's, yeah, there's more than only being apart from each other. Yeah. So, and I don't think that I need to tell him any longer how long, yeah, he can go away, because he would do it on his own. He would say, "No, I'm going."
But there is an in between. You
Yes.
like traveling, don't you?
Yeah.
So, if he still feels like 3 months, you just go there like after a month, you stay there for 2, 3 weeks, and then you go, and then
Yeah. Yeah. We did that before. Yeah, we did
okay,
that
yeah, that's
before.
good.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm not feeling at the moment. I'm not really into traveling at the moment. I don't know why, but yeah, I will go to Portugal. But that's the first time since a long time, and I used to travel all around the world. So yeah, I don't know. I don't feel. I don't know exactly why, but I think it has to do with the world at the moment. With yeah, but
Well, if you
anyway,
don't feel it, yeah, then you don't do it, of course.
yeah, and I'm here at the moment. I'm like I told you the last time. I'm on yeah, um I'm in a period in my life I really want to set a good foundation, and I want to give me the stage, like I told you before. And going away for 3 4 weeks and having a holiday or a vacation, for me this is like, no, 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 I should work on my I should work on my foundation and not on having a holiday. I think this is the main reason.
Okay, yeah, sounds. If you feel it like that, that's the
Yeah.
most important part, of course. So I want to share something because
Yeah.
I did something so much fun. I was like, Oh yeah, it was after the last one, the last talk. I went in the afternoon to Misty with a friend, and we played the Wish game. Did you ever hear of the Wish game? Oh my God, that's so cool. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So you start out with writing down your biggest wish in that moment, and I changed it to my biggest what my heart desires instead of wish,
Yeah.
and then you get like a first like a sort of guidance card, and that's like the overall energy of the wish, the desire, the overall guidance that you get on it, and then you start playing. It's an infinity a, and then you play the board. You throw a dice, and you walk, and then you can get a card for like what's blocking you, what kind of blocks are on your way, what are your intentions. Well, there's all kinds of information, and I was actually blown away with how everything was exactly like connecting, and it was like, and I know how energy works, but still I was like, what? It was so amazing. And Missy and I, we are pretty aware of a lot of things. So, but there was the other friend of ours. She's, wouldn't say she's unaware, but yeah, it's in a different. She comes from a different point of view, and she was like, "What the hell is happening here?" Because she got a lot of, not a lot, but she got a couple of what is blocking her cards, and they went very deep, very,
Oh.
very deep. And she was really like, "Whoa, I never ever thought of that, being an issue with me accomplishing my biggest dream at the moment." And so, yeah, she was really shaken up in a positive way, like, oh wait, if I start looking at things from this different perspective, how can I change that, improve that in my life to see if there will be more flow. So I was like, I want to play that game, more, but it takes a long time because we were like with three people. Because what you do, there's like the card, there's like guidance, or and sometimes it doesn't click right away for yourself. You're reading it and you're like, hmm. So what happens then is that others, when they feel called, like, oh, this is coming up for me, I want to share that with you, and then maybe that resonates, yes or no. So it's almost like an interactive coaching session, and it went really deep, and it sometimes was also very funny because like Misty, she got a card, and the question was something along the lines, are you listening or are you always talking? And
Ooh.
she got that message in previous playing of the game, and so she was triggered by it, pretty pretty triggered by it, and she was like, "I'm always getting this, and I believe I am really listening," and blah 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 blah. So she started the whole thing, and then all of a sudden, my other friend looked at her, and she was like, "Misty, it's just a question. So answer the question." And she was like, "Oh, so instead of like, are you listening or are you always talking, instead of going in explanation mode, what are you, which one of those are you?" And then she was like, "Oh, I'm always listening." All of a sudden it clicked. Sometimes we make some things so complicated for ourselves, and she
Yeah.
pointed out
It's
it's
a
like
conditioning.
with
And
two ends.
she's conditioned on that part. Yeah. Oh wow.
Well, yeah, that was so funny, and especially because the energies, yeah, start to mix up, and you start to
Oh,
relate
that's
to each other,
nice.
and yeah, it was
The
so
wishing game?
the wish game.
Wish game. Oh, I
Yeah,
have to.
I
Okay.
would definitely recommend buying it. Yeah, because I think it's only in English, or maybe it's in Dutch. I don't know. I think it will be in English, but you could also, I can already see it like doing it online with people, because there's just one person who has the board and it will throw the dice for you. That's the only thing that you cannot do.
Yeah,
But
only both have
yeah,
the
that's true. You
game
can have
and
your own dice. Yeah, Yeah, why you know why I say it? Because the dice they have is not the regular one that we know. You know, with all the squares. It's
Yeah,
it has different
shapes.
cut different. Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, there's only one, but you could always use another, of course.
Yeah, but you can both have the game, and you put it in front of you, and then we could play it together. But I have my game in front of me, and I have your
Yeah,
and
that's
me.
also possible, of course. Yeah. No, but I always think in like being I got distracted again. I always think in um, being frugal. I think it's called frugal. I'm from Zealand, the province.
Oh,
The salesmeisje. So if I can spare any money, I will. Wait,
yeah,
do you
yeah,
have
yeah,
one
yeah.
moment? Do we have one moment, please?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. That's the yellow in me. And what's happening? There's movement, and I don't know what's happening.
Tell
I just
me
want to
just
walk
what's
out of the house.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I really, yeah. If for anybody out there, if you're looking for guidance, and I think it's a very efficient and cost-effective way for coaching
Oh, that's fun and fun.
and
If
fun.
we
It's
do
a
it
lot of
together,
fun, but it
yeah, with
goes deep. It really goes deep, and it can take hours. It can take hours and hours and hours. So we, at one point, were like, okay, we're done because we could go on forever, but no. At some point, we were done.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
But
was,
does it
yeah,
have? But does it have an end, or it's? But it.
it does, but you have those. I think it's called pearls of wisdom cards. You're actually, how do you verzamelen? You're
Oh,
collecting pearls of
collecting.
wisdom, but if there's a block or there's something else, sometimes you have to give one back or two back. And according to the game, the one who has 8 wisdom cards, who's the first who has 8, he or she wins the game. And well, I got to 4. Yeah, I got 4, and my friend got 4. Misty got, I think, 2 only, and we were already like doing it for over 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, because you start talking. There's something coming up, and if you don't recognize it, or they ask you, okay, share this. Well, when you start sharing things, other things come into play, and that makes it actually really beautiful because you get a lot
Yeah,
of insights, different perspectives that I would never have thought of. And yeah, it was like crazy, but in a good way, like good crazy.
yeah,
And my guidance card was like, and that was actually a big confirmation because that was something that I was, yeah, already contemplating about the last couple of weeks. Is that it was all about fun. Start having fun in your life, and
yeah,
it will come to you. And I was like, oh, I know, I know. And I'm like more again. I start more go out more, connect again with people. But it's also for me. It's spring, and my energy changes in spring. It's always been like that in Holland. It's the same here. It's like I feel like this flower, that is starting to open up again. And then
yeah,
in fall, it's closing, and I'm going a little bit more in hibernation mode. It's more, yeah. I need to be more on my own, or at least in the house. I don't feel like going out. My energy is just also not there somehow. And now I start to feel like my energy is going up again. I feel stronger again, and I feel way more outgoing again. So yeah, it's just my energy cycle throughout the year. Also, that is a common. It was a little bit of a combination, but yeah, the fun part, that's actually a big thing because that's something that my boyfriend also keeps telling me, babe, get out of your mind, start, looking from things from a fun perspective, just enjoy life, be in the moment. Oh, about being in the moment. Sorry, this is so beautiful. I need to share this. It was so profound for me and for my friend, Misty. We were with a friend last Tuesday. We had a lovely day at the pool at her place, and talking about a lot of things. And we are in the pool, enjoying the water. And all of a sudden, my friend asked me and Misty, "So, what would you say when I ask you, where are you at now in your life? At what point in your life are you now?" So, I gave my answer like, well, I'm very happy, and I'm accomplishing this and I'm doing that and blah, 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 blah. Misty, same, did the same thing. And she looks at us and she was like, okay, do you want to hear what my answer is? And we were like, yeah, of course we want to hear what your answer is. And then she said, I love being in this pool, being with these beautiful two ladies, having this beautiful conversation, enjoying the sun on my back, enjoying the warmth of the water. And we both were like, yeah, that's
That's
what
the
she
moment.
said. It was literally, where are you now? And I actually had a conversation with Misty about it this morning, because Misty said, I really took that to heart. She says, I'm really being more aware of, when I'm talking about the now, that I'm actually talking about the now and not the perceived now, because how we perceive it and we think that is the answer people want to hear or whatever. So, and I thought it was such a beautiful, simple technique to really get back to, okay, stay really in the moment. I was like, yeah. And my boyfriend is telling me the same thing every day, almost every day. And I'm really believing that I'm living in the now. And then he says something, and I'm like, oh, okay, hmm, that's not in the now. I'm already, or still back, or I'm still a little bit ahead of myself, or too much in my mind about stuff. And it's really confronting in a way, because I don't know about you, but I get those moments that I'm thinking that I'm getting it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm apparently not getting it as much as I thought. And that still stings sometimes. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's also the mind, of course,
Then
thinks.
you are also not in the now.
Sorry?
Then you are also not in the now.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
if
Yeah,
you are in the now, you're okay with how it is at the
exactly.
moment.
True, true, true. Yeah, it is. It is exactly what you're saying. Yeah, so, but it is confronting at that moment, because,
Yeah.
I tend to sometimes, think that I'm already somewhere, like, oh, I've done that, I've been there, I know how it's done. And then something like that happens, and I'm like, oh, okay, keep your big mouth shut. That's your mind talking. It's not, you're not there. So, yeah, it was a good reminder for me at least. That's why I wanted to share it, because I was like, yeah, how you perceive the now, that's different than being in the now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to share
Yeah,
that.
it's a beautiful example. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It, it's making me think or feel, actually, not think, but feel. Yeah, yeah. If I'm telling you, how do you feel now? And I would say, I love the conversation with my good friend, and I feel very tired.
I can see that, by the way, too.
Yeah, I'm very tired. Yeah.
Well, I think this was a beautiful example to end with. No?
Yeah, yes, of course, and it's okay. It's not very. It's okay of being tired because I'm giving and giving and giving at the moment. I because I take care of a lot of people,
Yeah.
and now it's time. I told my boyfriend already. Now it's time you are going to take care of me in a
Yes.
hard way. I'm going
Yes.
to sit and then just do everything for me, please.
Put your feet up and get pampered a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy
And
that and
huh?
sleep well and enjoy
Yeah.
your time together because yeah, there's a lot of catching up probably happening.
No, I was there. This is maybe also a very nice example because actually I have the feeling I was with him all the time during his journey because we talk to each other almost every day. So I know already everything what he did, uh, and he shared photos, and so yeah, I don't have the feeling no, but I really miss the the touching part, the connection, the cuddling,
Physical,
and
yeah.
yeah, the energy from that
Yeah.
perspective. But no, the bonding the was okay. Yeah, yeah,
Right, that's good. Nice.
yeah, great.
Yeah. Well, enjoy your time together tonight because
Thank
it's the
you.
first night together. So yeah, I can imagine that you just want to cuddle up, like
Yeah, and then we probably both fall asleep.
yeah, yeah, that's good. Nothing wrong with that. That's nice. I like that too.
I
Just
like
being in
it.
someone's arm and like, phew, I love it.
Yeah, it's great. It is
Yeah, it
great.
is.
Hey, love you, girl.
Love you too.
Thank
See you
you.
in 2 weeks. Well, I see you in 2 weeks in the talk and in 1 week in the
Yeah,
meeting.
of course. Yeah. All right.
Bye.
Bye, Stevie. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.